surface areas of a cylinder. So again, lateral area is the area of the sides of a cylinder. So you're not including the top or the bottom. You're just including this portion here that goes around the sides. And that's excluding the circles is what you're doing when you find the lateral area. Okay. Um, the lateral area, you can use either of these formulas. This one would probably be easiest. The lateral area is pi times the diameter times the height, or you can use 2 times pi times radius times the height, because 2 times the radius is the diameter. Just select which one you would like to use and write that formula down in your notes. Also write what each letter stands for so you can be sure. D is the diameter and H is the height. Again, the height is the distance between the two bases. For surface area, we don't just want the area of the around the outside, we also want the top and the bottom to be included. So it's the lateral area plus 2 times the area of the base. With a cylinder, our base is always a circle, so the cool thing about a cylinder is we can write down a definite formula. Okay, the surface area is 2 pi times the radius times the height plus 2 pi r squared. Okay, remember pi r squared is the area of a circle. We have 2 of them, one on top and one on bottom. And then this is the lateral area, that's around the edge. And the way we get that is the middle part really is a triangle. Its length is the distance around this circle or the circumference, and its width is the height of the cylinder. So that's where we get that, because 2 pi r gives you the circumference, and then you multiply by the height. But the really important thing, you want to have these written down in your notes, and also you want to write down what each letter stands for. So like here, R, you would want to write down that that stands for the radius, and H, you would want to write that that stands for the height. Pi, remember, is just a number. It's about 3.14, but we use the symbol pi to stand for that number. And let's try this one. Find the lateral area and surface area of the cylinder in terms of pi. Okay, so depending on what formulas you're using, let's say you're using 2 times pi times the radius times the height for lateral area. So we just have to make sure we put all the numbers in and calculate correctly. We're going to leave it in terms of pi, which means we don't multiply the pi through, we just leave it in our answer. Okay, so let's plug in the numbers. Well, we have 2 pi, the radius is 20, and the height is 10. The height is the distance from base to base. It says was 10. So that's our lateral area. All we have to do is calculate. Since we're writing it in terms of pi, I'm going to multiply all of the other numbers and then just move the pi down to the end. So we have 2 times 20 times 10. That gives me 400 pi. That is the lateral area, and that would be in square inches. Now, read carefully so that you know whether they want lateral area or surface area on a problem, because that can make an issue. Now let's find the surface area. So we know the surface area is the area we just found, our lateral area, plus the area of our two bases. So let's write down the formula for surface area. It's 2 pi RH, this is our lateral area that we just found, plus 2 pi r squared. Remember, pi r squared is the area of a circle. We have 2 of those circles, one on the bottom, one on the top. Well, we already calculated this one, right? 2 times 20 times 10. We'll write it down again in case you just have to do surface area sometime. And then 2 times pi times the radius squared. Again, our radius is 20. And that needs to be squared. Let's calculate each of those. So again, this one, 2 times 20 times 10. I'm going to move the pi to the end of each part, because it wants it in terms of pi, which means we're not multiplying by pi. We're just going to leave it in our answer. And I'm going to go ahead and do 20 squared. 20 squared means 20 times 20, which is 400 pi. All right, now let's multiply. Here we get 400 pi plus 2 times 400 is 800 pi. I add those together and I will have my answer for surface area. 400 plus 800 is 1200 pi. And again, that would be in square inches. My lateral area was 400 pi. My surface area was 1200 pi. All right, find the lateral area. Okay, so that's important. We need our lateral area formula. I'm going to write that down right now. Lateral area is equal to 2 times pi times the radius times the height. Okay, with a base area of 36 pi inches squared and a height that is twice the radius of the base. Well, this is a tricky question. Hey, they gave me not the things I needed. I need the radius and I need the height. They didn't give me either of those. So I'm going to have to use the information they gave me to find them, and we'll go from there. Okay, so let's look at the information we were given. Okay, so the base of this cylinder has an area of 36 pi inches squared. Remember, the base of a cylinder is a circle with a radius of r. The area of a circle is pi times radius squared. Fill in the information we know. We know that the area of the base is 36 pi, right? Because that's where our area was, and that's what they told us. We know that's equal to whatever pi times radius squared is. We have a pi on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that, because what I'm trying to do here is figure out what the radius was, so that then I can use it in my formula over here. So I end up with radius squared equals 36. We take the square root of both sides to remove the squared, and we get the square root of 36 is 6. My radius is 6. Okay, I have one thing that I needed. I need the radius and the height. The radius is 6. Now let's take a look at the height. The height is twice the radius of the base. Okay, so the height twice means 2 times the size of. The height is 2 times the radius. Okay, well, we just found out our radius was 6, so we can put that right in there, and we know our height is 2 times 6, or 12. Now we have both parts. We had to do some work to get them, but we have both parts, and now we can find the lateral area. The lateral area would be 2 pi times our radius, which we found out was 6, times the height, which we found out was 12. We multiply. 2 times 6 times 12 is a 144. So you can do this if they want it in terms of pi. You just move the pi to the end, multiply everything else. And again, 2 times 6 times 12 was 144. Pi, this was in inches, so square inches. If they want it rounded to a decimal, all you have to do then is just go ahead and multiply by pi. Multiply the pi. And then round your answer to whatever decimal place. Okay, so if they wanted it rounded out, we would go ahead and multiply, and you get about 452.39. Okay, so these are both correct answers. It just depends on what form they want it in.